Yes, Gunner.
Are we live on the air, do you think? Or we're actually talking to these people?
I usually talk half them.
Yeah. I mean, I talk to the voices in my head too, but NetJester never responds. But here's the thing: did you know that they have these things called Funko Pops? Are you familiar with these?
Isn't that the franchise of gaming retailers?
No. There would be GameStop, not Funko Pop. Close enough though. Anyways, I've got my Macho Man one here, and it's pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. So I have a little Macho over here. I thought I was going somewhere with this. It was going to be funny, but it's not. So we're just gonna start the show.
Oh yeah!
We can progress away. No laughing in fact wrong to track down. I'm going to humiliate. You'll be good at laughing times if you only listen to. Woo! Get serious. Oh, woo! Get serious. Oh, woo! Get serious.
Does that upset you? Am I under your skin?
Hey everybody, welcome to Wooo Get Serious number 162. We have as many shows as a baseball season has in one season. Joining us this week, excuse me,
and as many delays.
I know, right? And that's Omega BR.
I was referring to Funko Land, by the way.
Oh, I was not aware. Joining us this week, who also is apparently, silent but deadly, Yank and BDS.
Silent but deadly. Wasn't that your mom's nickname in high school?
Yes, she had a terrible flatulence problem, and it sent her into a state of psychosis, which she kept throughout her entire life. And joining us, speaking of psychosis, here's NetJester.
When you wish upon a spar dot, you may find your jokes funny not.
And that's enough of that.
Yes, that is completely enough of that. Just one thing about that particular topic. We won't be talking about it on here, and it happened. It was a thing, and now we're different. Well, I figured that you'd have some common sense.
Oh, that's the funniest thing you've ever said on this show.
Alright, so let's get started here. We don't got much news. So I'm going to read it all, because I'm a dick. Jericho was hacked. He posted a photo of his middle finger to the hackers once he got control of his accounts again. We move on. Kevin Nash tweeted about a retirement match. Quote, I would love to do a real retirement match with a build-up on the network, training, like a 24/7 HBO deal like they do for, various boxing fights. WWE, put me out of my misery. I would pay $9.99 to see that.
Yeah, you could give him a proper retirement match. I don't know who with. Seemed kind of lame to do it with Triple H. Punk would have been good, but they made that whole thing lame. I don't know.
Daniel Bryan?
Well, no. I don't know. I'd be more likely to say like Kevin Owens or somebody.
Still, if you think it's going to be Kevin Nash, there's only a couple of real people who probably he'd like to do a retirement match with. One of them would be Trips. The other one would be Scott Hall, but I don't think even Hall can work.
Yeah, and Hall was in the news a bit this week too when he was escorted. Well, we talked about it last week, if I remember right. He was escorted from that event, apparently intoxicated, and apparently people were basically begging him to leave. Not necessarily because he was in a horrible state, but because there's a rumor going around that he may have a job with WWE coming, which is partly why he was removed from the Global Force Wrestling roster, and partly why they wanted him to leave, of course. They didn't want him to jeopardize such an opportunity.
Cena, actually. That's who I would put Nash with for his retirement match. It would be Cena. Yep. Because it would be a similar build to Rock Cena, but it would be Nash trying to come back for one last shot, and then it would be Cena who's kind of on top, who's like a legend in his own right, but he would do the job for him because it would be, it would be the outsider, the bad guy, and, a bad guy, excuse me. Not the bad guy, but a bad guy.
You almost got those two confused.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Cena would be a good choice as any, but...
Really, he's the one that's more over. I mean, sure you could do it with Trips, but that would be boring. No one wants to see that.
Yeah, it didn't prevent us from getting Trips versus Sting, did it?
No, it should have.
So WrestleMania 32, it's going to be Kevin Nash retiring against Triple H.
And right before the AA, Cena looks Nash right in the eye, and he says, "I'm sorry, I love you."
Oh, ouch.
I don't think that's an important enough match for Triple H. I think that might be a SummerSlam match, but he wants The Rock at WrestleMania.
Oh, why?
Because God hates us.
And does not...
I don't think... Right, like the God that made the Point Break remake. Oh shit, is that going to be terrible?
Oh, Jesus, why did you tell me that was a thing that existed?
Because the trailer came out today.
Well,
and it looks awful. Like, awful.
like
I mean...
holograms awful.
Wow. I mean, the original was bad, but at least it was fun. This probably isn't even going to be fun.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about the last news bit.
Alright, so one more news bit here. So apparently there's a rumor making rounds that Dixie Carter accidentally copied the president of Destination America in an email complaining about the network, apparently that they were not sending out C3 numbers for ratings, which had a live viewership plus 3 days of DVR. Carter was not present at the quarterly meeting between the two companies in late April. Simon Inoki also was at the last Impact tapings to discuss a possible IGF partnership. I would think that the loss of American television for Impact within the next couple of months would actually prevent them from actually working with anybody else. And it seems that other companies over in...
IGF is kind of crazy. If you don't know, IGF is the Inoki Genome Federation. It's basically Inoki's wrestling MMA hybrid promotion in Japan, where Bobby Lashley set up shop before he went back to TNA. And it's a run by Inoki, so basically, that's the one, maybe you've seen the photos of, that's the one with that really expensive, ridiculous looking, but really cool looking wrestling belt, the one that supposedly cost 2 million yen with all the rubies and sapphires and diamonds, and the alligator skin strap, and the...
Holy shit, I'm Googling this. That sounds fantastic.
Or what? Excuse me, 200 million yen, about $2 million US, supposedly it costs.
Wow, that's impressive.
But anyway,
a lot of gems.
Yeah, I mean,
It looks
I could
sweet. I like it. It looks better than the WWE title.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
I
it
could
doesn't.
certainly...
It looks better than the spinner belt. It looks better than the spinner belt, but not the current one.
Yeah. I mean, point being, I could believe they're not, not that I'm the Poro master or anything, but I can believe IGF, it's not like they're a super huge deal. They're sort of, again, they're Inoki's sort of pet project and everything, so, I can believe it. As for Dixie Carter, I would respect her a lot more as a leader and an authority figure if she was just genuine with people. She does one thing and she acts like she really did another, and she's a bit in denial too. I don't think she really understands the impact of why people don't like her. It's not necessarily that people think she's power hungry or even incompetent. Really, I think it's the fact that she kind of deludes herself into things like like with these ratings where because Destination America isn't sending out the total ratings, that's the crux of the problem. That's the ultimate.
It really isn't it's a classic case of somebody who's optimistic to a fault. I can completely understand where she's coming from. She wants this company to succeed. It's her baby. But at the same time, it's the thing that's been driving her family, and everybody else around her into, insanity. Because we have a girl here who believes in this wrestling product, believes in it, but like we used to believe in the Shield. And she doesn't realize the reality of the situation, which is you have a terrible wrestling product. The wrestling on it is okay, but the product itself and the way it's presented and how you do things is ass backwards, because you have no idea how to run a company. I mean, you've done this for 13 years or some bullshit like that. You should be able to do it by now, but you haven't figured it out. And it's just, they keep pumping money into it, and they keep trying to turn a profit, and they keep trying to, do something with this show. And it's like every year there's a change. And every single year there's some sort of large scandal, or there's some sort of large bad luck that's associated with TNA, and at the end of the day, it turns into a fed where nobody wants to be there, nobody's getting paid, and Dixie thinks she's in, Candyland or some bullshit.
Well, it's not even optimism, to be honest. It's stubbornness, I think. She's stubborn, believing that her way is the right way, that the things she does are the right things to do, that she really does no wrong. That's the thing. She won't even admit when she's done something wrong. There's no apologies. There's no, faith. There's no faith for the talent necessarily, because they're lied to. They're fed a line of, it didn't really happen this way. It's really a matter of, again, people would respect her a lot more if there was a sense of being genuine. And, and again, when you bring it up to TNA, the idea that, just say, we really are, it's what I suggested last week. Yeah, Destination America does want to cancel us, but you TNA faithful, the people who know TNA is the, quote-unquote best wrestling on the planet, then that might be an ROH line, actually. But say, prove them wrong, basically, or embrace her company. Dixie never embraces the thing that she has, and this is a McMahon problem, too. The McMahons and the Carters, they both want their creation and their nest egg, so to speak, to be successful, but not necessarily because of what it is. They want it to be what their vision of it should be, and when that's not what the general kind of public creates precisely, and then they get upset, and that's when they start to, make all these excuses and lies and such, and it's really unbecoming, it's really uncouth, and it's frankly unnecessary, because again, they could be pretty successful if they would just kind of get over themselves. And it's not even a matter of selling out their principles or selling out their ideas. It's a matter of just, compromising in a way. It's not all about your vision, it's about your vision as seen by the rest of us.
So what you're saying is the McMahons and the Carters have the fatal character flaw of not being able to get out of their own ways in order for something good to start happening, and it has to be 120% or 150% or 200% about them constantly.
In a way, yeah. I mean, not even necessarily about them, but their vision. You can't have. History's proven dangerous things happen when hundreds or thousands of people see through the eyes of one person or a couple people.
You'd think that we would be able to find a way to include some sort of perspective. Yeah, and they have some sort of perspective. All right, guys, we're gonna move on here because this is enough of our TNA bashing for the day, and since we have no other news, we're gonna move right into the 15-minute time limit. This week,
it worked that time.
Hey, it did. Go figure. I think it's really funny that after 162 episodes, he's still surprised that something works. 15-minute time limit. We're going to talk about Elimination Chamber this week. We're going to give our predictions because, holy shit, it's another pay-per-view. And guess what's happening in 2 weeks after this? We're getting Money in the Bank. So guess what? We're going to have one more show, and then we're going to have, I think, one more show. 1 or 2 more shows, and then we're going to have another prediction show. Go figure, right? Alright.
We basically have prediction show, then reaction show, then prediction again.
Exactly. It's weird. Alright, Neville versus Bo Dallas in a singles match. A rematch from NXT, finally brought up to the main roster. Why would you do this now?
Bo Dallas needs to do something in this match to prove why he was an NXT champion and why he should even be on the roster in the first place. Because it's not real. I didn't watch a ton of NXT back when he was champion and active and everything. And again, it's not really his fault that he's fallen into that, trap of WWE not using him. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to see exactly what the appeal, well, not the appeal, but you know what I mean. The whole, if I see Neville versus Barrett on the card again, I know it's going to be a pretty good match. But if I see Neville versus Dallas, there's a big question mark,
Right, exactly.
Well, I'll ask it if you don't want to. What is the appeal of Bo Dallas? I mean, the only time I thought this guy was entertaining at all was when he was screaming his poor ass off about the rent-a-cops, the security personnel at Full Sail, dragging him away. It was like, no! I thought he was having some sort of panic attack or something. No! And it was like, that was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen him do. And he hasn't done anything like that to me since.
Well, he's pretty good at being a really goofy character, but his character is very one note, and which, not that you have to be more than one note to be successful, but again, when we're talking about from a pure match standard, I don't really know if this is going to be a really great match. Neville has been impressive in that they put him up against some pretty formidable opponents, and I don't think he's had a bad match yet, but again, you talk about Bo Dallas, and again, it's not an insult to Dallas necessarily. It's just Dallas. His whole main roster career has basically been one big question mark because nothing's really happened in it.
I believe that we should whatchamacallit? I believe that we should have Bo Dallas join the New Day and have him be the Owen Hart of New Day.
Oh, good Lord!
Tell me I'm wrong.
It'd be something.
That'd be interesting, but I don't know if Vince would go for it.
Look, at the end of the day, Neville's going somewhere. He is the new Evan Bourne of the roster. Congratulations, Neville, for taking Evan's spot. But, Bo Dallas, I don't see him doing anything ever, and he just tropes around for a bit, for a couple years, and then, oops, there he goes. Bye-bye. Future endeavor. We wish you well. That kind of thing. Exactly, and it's he's a one-trick pony, and the problem with his gimmick was that it was made for that Full Sail crowd. It wasn't made for the big crowd, because it doesn't get over with the big crowd.
Well, I think it could. It's just he needs to do something. They didn't have him do anything.
So they're not having Wyatt do anything either. So what makes you think that Bo's going to be able to do anything?
Exactly.
So,
which is what I was going for next. You think we'll ever see those two in a match together?
Yes, probably.
Yeah, probably.
probably, but it's not going to be anything spectacular, I'm sure.
No, it's not. All right, Sheamus versus Ryback versus R-Truth versus... Oh, who's going to win that Neville versus Bo Dallas match, by the way? Go down the board.
Well, I actually assume... I'll just be different and say Dallas, because somebody interferes.
I'm going to say Dallas because nobody interferes. And Dallas just rolls him up and is like, oh, that's it. Sorry. Sheamus versus Ryback versus R-Truth versus Barrett versus Rusev versus Ziggler. Who's winning the Intercontinental Championship, guys?
Why is R-Truth always in these matches?
Because he's a solid worker. He's been in 4 of them, and he could call the shots.
No, but what's the funny answer?
What's the funny answer?
I think he's got porn blackmail pictures on somebody. Probably Steph.
No, it's spiders. That's the answer right there. Spiders.
Well,
he gets to run away and be in a chamber where there are no spiders.
Well, here's what happened. He didn't want to be in the match, but then Stephanie held up a rubber spider and said, if you don't do this, you're going to get bit by the spider. So R-Truth didn't have any choice.
Pretty much. That sounds good.
You want the funny answer?
That would be something I saw that was funny.
Is it your face?
No. You want the funny answer?
Go on.
It's it's affirmative action.
Okay, so I want to talk about who we think is going to win this.
Well, first of all, I think it's going to be Honky.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Honky Tonk Wayne. Thank you very much.
Oh, that'd be a great gimmick for R-Truth. Let's give him the Honky Tonk Man. No, let's give him the Honky Tonk Man gimmick.
That would be terrible, because he'd be like honky, 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 and then he would go all over.
So he's the Honky Truth Man, and he's a combination of Honky Tonk Man and Kerwin White. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes. Do you not want to see this?
Wait a second, hold on. He doesn't know who Kerwin White is.
Who doesn't know who Kerwin White is?
Jester.
Me.
Oh my god, Net Jester. It's like fucking Chavo's, like, I don't want to say is his best gimmick.
It's his white
it's
gimmick.
Not. The horse
gimmick.
the pokey horse gimmick was the best one.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I remember the sick one.
Okay, so Kerwin White was Chavo coming out dressed in cardigans and button-up shirts and all like a white guy. Like
he shaved all his facial hair and his head hair, and he kind of looked like, because he's kind of light-skinned. So, and he would come out in golf carts. Coincidentally, Dolph Ziggler played his valet, his golf caddy, when he did this.
So in essence, you're talking about a white Mr. Clean. God, how did I miss this?
Mr. Clean is white.
Well,
Super white.
Mr. Clean, a well-dressed, a rich Mr. Clean. Okay.
Mr. Clean's rich too.
Well, it had nothing to do with Mr. Clean. I don't know where you're getting
Who's
Mr.
going
Clean from.
to... All right, we've gone so far. We've gone far. Who's going to win this match?
Fuck out. Especially since we only have 7 minutes left. It's gonna be probably Sheamus.
I'd
like to see Ziggler.
I was gonna say Rusev, but he's gonna spin off and feud with Ziggler.
Outside chance of Rusev. Yep.
So it's Sheamus or Rusev.
then next up-
going with Sheamus. All right, next up, we got the New Day versus the Lucha Dragons versus Tyson Kidd and Cesaro versus the Primetime Players versus the Ascension versus Los Matadors and the Tag Team Chamber Elimination Match. Who is going to win the Tag Team Championships? My money is on PTP.
Oh, God, I hope so. And I'll tell you this. No matter who wins, this match is going to be the biggest clusterfuck in the most fun possible way. So I'm looking forward to it no matter what.
Oh,
the New Day retains.
I doubt it. I don't think that they'll retain this one. I think this will be a good chance to put it on PTP because it's because they're in such a good, whatchamacallit, they're in such a good spot right now, like with PR wise, because it's Darren Young and he's the first openly gay wrestler in a major promotion, and it would be yes. In the WWE at least, and Titus O'Neil, who just won the Father of the Year award, and from someplace, I forgot what it was, but it's like big deal kind of thing. And they've been kind of pushing them slowly, more so than usual. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro would be the second choice there, but I do not think New Day retains. New Day will be definitely using their gimmick, but I think it's wrapping up here, and I think this is the point of this match. So give it PvP.
I don't understand how they're going to fit all three of.
They're not. They're going to fit two. It's only two.
I'm calling it now. They're going to squeeze all three of them in there, and it's going to be a gag.
Or we'll try to at least, or something like that. Yeah.
So,
all right.
Nikki versus Nikki versus Paige versus Naomi for the Divas belt.
Naomi pins Paige.
Right. After shenanigans from Tamina.
And Brie.
I'm going to say Nikki retains, just because.
Okay.
I don't think so. Then we got Cena versus Owens. That's going to be I don't know. I think it's going to be a good match, but we know where this is going. For sure.
Owens pins Cena clean. The belt is not on the line. Cena goes out on his back. I am 100% certain of this.
I don't think so. Because who was the last person to go clean over Cena?
I can't remember. Can you?
Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
And how long ago was that? I mean, and then how long was the one before that?
Maybe even Wyatt.
I don't.
Well, not really. I think he won the cage match, but not.
I thought he had won something previously that he actually won clean. But in all seriousness, Owens wins clean over Cena.
I think we're gonna see a no contest similar to the Zayn Owens matches where Owens does something heinous and the match is just kind of waved off. Like Owens gives Cena the power bomb on not the stairs, but on the ring apron, and then Cena refuses to quit, but they kind of brawl, and then
a double count out or some horse shit. I don't think they'll horse shit this one.
Well, I'll tell you what too. Isn't Zayn's back and he's not? Well, no, scratch that. Because I think he's getting surgery. But
correct.
Okay, we got 3 minutes.
All right, so we got Dino and Seth for the title.
Rollins retains.
Here's where I'm expecting some major league horseshit. If we don't have some sort of major swerve in this match, I will just lose my faith in creative entirely, because I'm seriously thinking somewhere in the back of my mind that Roman's going to come out of nowhere and screw with either Dean or Seth and put him in the title picture in some way, shape, or form.
I don't think so. It would be kind of fun to see Reigns come down and act like he's about to, help Dean Ambrose and then just completely fuck him over. But it's not going to happen.
That would be a waste. But Seth Rollins is retaining this belt.
Well, I mean, it's Reigns, so how much of a waste can it be?
I think Reigns, at some point there's a ref bump, and, the Authority starts messing with Ambrose. Reigns comes down, cleans house, goes for a spear, hits Ambrose by mistake. Rollins dumps Reigns out. Rollins pins Ambrose, and we finally get our Shield proper triple threat at Money in the Bank.
I think this is where you'll see the fuckery. It would be funny to see whatchamacallit. I think this might have been exactly what you just said. Roman Reigns costing Dean Ambrose the title, but accidentally.
Yeah, that's exactly what he just said. So
right.
Probably be paying attention.
Yeah, I figured as much. I knew it was what it was before it came out of my mouth. Let's see here. I don't know, man. I mean, I just think that it's going to be one of the. I was talking so that would happen. Dairy King drive-through.
Oh, next sound. Shit. What do I do? I'm kidding, I had it the whole time.
I gotta dumb myself down!
Ratings for you. Come on.
No Impact ratings because, nobody can find them. Not even Dixie Carter, apparently. SmackDown drew a 1.81, which is essentially even with the 1.79 rating of last week, and Raw rating is delayed due to Memorial Day being yesterday.
Funny thing is that I found out about Memorial Day is that we're supposed to honor the people who died during wartime that served in the military, not anybody else. And it also started in the South during the Civil War. With the birthdays, Net Jester.
And happy birthday to the following people. On the 26th, we have La Sombrera, not to be confused with La Isla Bonita. On the 27th, we have none other than Controversy Creates Cash himself, Eric Bischoff, and Natalia Natty Neidhart. On the 28th, we have Tyler Black and the Ugandan giant Kamala. On the 29th, we have Steve Carino, Pete Gass, the little bastard, no relation to Hornswoggle, Head Shrinker Samu. On the 31st, Japanese name warning, we have Takahashi Sugagura, I hope. Anyway,
close enough.
Yep, close enough. On June 1st, we have Black Nature Boy, Scoot Andrews, Big Bully Busick, Ian Rotten, James Storm, and a name that can't really be a pro wrestler, but I'll say it anyway, just for shits and giggles, Yo Mama Suck. And I think he was Filipino.
What are you doing?
What the fuck?
Dude, that's Yo Ma Suk.
Yo Ma.
It's Chinese. All right.
Oh my god! Please stop!
That's so racist!
Wow! You're so fucking racist! No! You're being racist! It's a real fucking person!
Dude,
you're being racist!
He was in Ring Ka King, you idiot!
King.
Jesus Christ!
Are you kidding me? If you're saying he wasn't Ring Ka King and this was a real person, then that's pretty much shows you.
It was one of their homegrown talents. You racist motherfucker.
Homegrown? Oh, please. The little bit I know about the Indian language does not have any of that S-U with an unk bot over it K thing.
Yes, it does. I had a buddy who I went to school with. His name was Suk.
Anyway.
I'm not kidding.
Let the gimp out because it's Omega's turn.
And now it is time for This Week in Wrestling with Omega BR.
Thank you, Tinette Joyster. Close enough. Yes, it's This Week in wrestling history, circa 1973, where Harley Race won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship for the very first time, defeating Dory Funk Jr. in Kansas City, Missouri. Jump to 1982, where the original Tiger Mask defeats Black Tiger to win the WWF Junior Heavyweight Championship in Osaka, Japan, starting his second and longest reign that ended with 312 days. And in 1996, WWF In Your House Beware of Dog from Florence, South Carolina was ruined by a major power outage caused by a thunderstorm. Most of the matches were worked off-air, in the dark, lit only by emergency lighting, and with Howard Finkel doing ring announcing using a megaphone. Fans at home saw nothing but occasional messages by Vince McMahon they somehow managed to get through, while fans in the arena saw a Caribbean strap match between Savio Vega and Steve Austin. The power did return for the main event of Shawn Michaels versus Davey Boy Smith, although the match was marred by Michaels arguing with a heckler and a sound technician. And that was this week in wrestling history.
Alright, got some happy trails here. Happy trails to nobody, because we don't have anybody. We don't have any happy trails this week. So
happy trails to NetJester, because due to his repeated racism on the show and inability to not bring up controversial things, he will not be with us any longer.
Yeah, I'll believe that one. I see it.
Okay, I'm kidding. Alright, so what should we watch this week in wrestling? NetJester.
What to watch this week in wrestling? Tell you the truth, nothing on Raw really tickled my fancy last night. So, in times of need, I just go back to my DVD collection. So, how about the last one my sister gave me? The Life Story of the Dragon, the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat 3 DVD set. Ooh, how's this one? Cowboy Bob Orton versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from the Capitol Center on July 20th of 1985.
Hey, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Find some fucking local indie promotion and go to their show and support local wrestling. How's that?
That's actually a really good idea. Omega VR, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
Well, I'd say you could watch any of the matches from my suggestion last week, which was the Victoria Lucha World Cup, which was on Sunday. It was actually awesome. It was a pretty fun little event. It had some unique rules to it. They were trios matches, of course. However, 15-minute time limit, and if just like on our show, and if the 15 minutes ran out, then one member from each team would have a singles match for 5 minutes until there was a winner, just like on our show.
Right.
And I believe the opening match, I remember being pretty good. I believe it was Dream Team versus, that's Mysterio, El Patron, and not Mystiz, like I pronounce it, but Miss... Well, as Matt Stryker pronounced it, Miss Taziz. And by the way, Matt Stryker and Vampiro were on English commentary, and they were they were very loose and fancy free.
Stryker was very, very good, and Vampiro was the usual shit, because Vampiro was kind of bad at this whole thing. It was funny though. I'm going to suggest, because these two idiots didn't, the Zack Ryder versus John Cena U.S. Championship match, because it's the last championship match to ever be held in the Nassau Coliseum. And it was awesome.
It was a good match, but let's face facts. I mean, as much as we all mark for Zack Ryder, as much as we want to push him to the moon, it seems that everybody on Woo wants his blood for some damn reason, and I can't figure that out.
I don't get it myself, to be perfectly honest, but I still like him, and I don't understand why we don't. All right, so thank you that's it, guys. That's everything. Thank y'all for listening. We really appreciate it. You can check us out online at smarkstark.com, twitter.com/smarkstark, facebook.com/smarkstark, smarkstark@gmail.com. You can give us a phone call. That number is 812-408-9666. 812-408-WOO. You want to call in? You call in during the show, or you can do it pretty much any time. Leave us a voicemail, and we'll play it on the show for you. I think that's it. I'm not forgetting anything. So, in lieu of the match I suggested, we're going to do this the old school way. Take care. Spike your hair.
Woo, woo, woo.
You know it.
Good night, Belize City.